Today you learn how to build wealth in an unconventional way from my friend Imran, who will share with you absolutely amazing strategies and ideas on how you can create an exponential income for yourself on today's episode of the Modern Wealth Podcast. Welcome to our Modern Wealth Podcast, where we aim to empower, enrich, and evolve your lives. Today, we have a marketing genius, a very, very dear friend of mine. I cannot wait to continue this conversation because, dudes, guys, if you're marketing nerds, if you're a person who's interested in business, making more money, today's episode is going to transform you. I'm very, very sure we have a lot of ideas, and we have none other than my dear friend Imran, who's going to be with us today, right? So without further ado, let me just introduce Imran real quick, right? So Imran has been a friend of mine for many, many years. He is a guy who has scaled multiple seven-figure businesses in many, many different niches and areas, right? Helped thousands of entrepreneurs across the region, right? And he was one of the first guys who was very instrumental in helping me as well when I was young, starting out, not knowing what to do, right? Imran was a guy who was very, very inspirational to me, and I'm very, very thankful for his help when I first started out, right? So, without further ado, Imran, welcome, brother.
Well, thank you very much for having me, Rash. That is a very generous introduction, I must say, but I appreciate it.
Yes.
I actually know Rash. I knew you back when, I can't remember, this was way before COVID, 2015, 2014.
Yes.
My second year or third year of marriage. Yeah. That was when I was just kind of starting out my marketing, coaching, business coaching career. And you were one of those guys who was there very early on.
Yes.
So again, thank you for that. And giving me a chance, a canvas for me to experiment some of my radical marketing ideas on. Right?
You're very radical, bro. Mm-hmm. You're a very radical thinker. Mm-hmm. But bro, you've done it with multiple businesses, right? Like, you had a football, a soccer thing going on as well. Mm-hmm. You had many. Tell us an array of different businesses that you actually started, that you actually had.
Yeah, so I go in sequence.
Yeah, sure.
Right? The first one that I ever started was called Artisan Pieces. Art gallery. Basically, I buy paintings from China way before people were talking about drop shipping and everything. I was actually going to China. Okay. This was 16, 17 years ago.
Wow.
And I would buy paintings for $20, $30.
Okay.
And then I would bring it back to Singapore and I would arbitrage, because at that time the world wasn't really flat. Okay. There was a vacuum of information between buyers and sellers, so there was no middleman, there was no Alibaba at that time. So I was the olden day Alibaba. Okay. Right? So I would go over. And that was my first ever business, selling all paintings, gallery. I've since given it away to a good friend. Okay. She, husband and wife, they are running the business right now for themselves. And then I went to sports coaching as well. Basically, we hire coaches from Malaysia, from Singapore, from Thailand, and we outsource them to schools because there was a need for sports coaches at that time, especially in the fields event. Track, there's many, but in the field event, there was nobody who was. They couldn't do javelin or high jump. So and then I went into a couple of other businesses. Right, we went into child enrichment businesses, mobile apps, helping businesses to do mobile apps. We also did tailoring for a stint for about 2 years. I was a partner with a business at that time. And of course, I also do casually buy and sell luxury goods like handbags, watches, and so on. So those are some of the things that were born out of passion. Wow. But I think you know the myth, and I've told you this a lot of times before. I said that a business need not come from passion alone. It can come from discovering gaps in the marketplace and finding people who are more passionate and more amazing at it than you are, but then brokering the entire thing. That's pretty much sums up what I've been doing.
Wait, hold on. Finding a gap in the marketplace, right? Where is a problem actually happening in a particular industry, a particular thing that you're interested in, for example, right? And finding the people who are passionate, people who are capable of solving the enrich. Right? Could you give us some examples, bro?
So for example, the oil painting thing came across because my mom was looking for painting. So it's actually good for you to embrace things that you are actually involved in yourself. Yes. I need some paintings. I renovating my house, went to some art galleries. Everything was $10,000 and above. But all I wanted was some colors on the wall. Right? My budget is $300 and no one's doing it. Right? So I was frustrated. I was like, oh my God, there must be some people selling it for much cheaper. So I started with a bit of Googling, found out there was some obscure artists in China. It's okay. At that time, I think it was called, before Scoot, there was called Tiger.
Tiger.
You remember Tiger?
Yes, of course.
Flew Tiger Air over there, Shenzhen, took a cab, 4 hours, didn't have enough money. I slept in the art gallery basement. It was aircon. The lady was quite nice. And that was how I got started. But so it's always about, every single day you're consuming stuff.
Okay.
I always tell people you're either the consumer or you're on the selling side. Sure. You're either the fisherman or you are the fish, depending on where you are at any single time of period.
Yeah.
So think about it. So if you always just spend money and consume, and you always think like a consumer, you will always be below this particular line of what we call consumption line. You're always consuming, buying, getting excited, savings coming in and spend. But if you are to graduate beyond that consumption line, I think you would agree, is when you start thinking, how can I do this better than the current service providers in the market? And by better, it can mean a lot of things. It can mean cheaper, it can mean faster. I don't always recommend that. It can mean that you are targeting a different niche. It can be that you're using a different methodology or process. So there's many different ways that can be done that are probably a little bit, we have too little time to cover everything, but you get my point.
Dude, you have undoubtedly created probably the most success stories, right? You have, I don't know how many web pages full of people who you help, right? Create income, like it is undeniable, right?
I think I have to qualify that statement.
Sure.
Part of the reason why I have so many testimonials, like hundreds or even 1,000, these are real people with real faces and they say real things, they can check out their shops and everything, is because I'm very conscientious about collecting testimonials and asking for it. Right? So that's another skill in life that most people don't have. They help someone's very happy. At that point in time, ask for a testimonial, ask for a case study.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people are actually lagging behind because they're like, I don't want to ask, I'm shy, they pay me money already. Then if I ask, then they think they're asking for too much. No, they're happy to give it to you at the point in time. They're ecstatic, jubilant. Right? So that's one of the things that we have to learn. So your question again was, I managed to create
so my question, which is just the lesson that he gave was to make sure you do collect your testimonials, make sure you do get your raving customers, your raving fans to actually give them, right? But you've created undeniably probably the most success stories that you've documented yourself, right? Just incredible, congratulations on that. But what are the secrets or strategies that you teach them to be able to create that success? And can you share some case studies of some people?
Sure. Let me just try to come up with a simple framework first.
Sure.
When it comes to running businesses, of course, we need money, we need profits. And profits comes from sales. And sales comes from sales conversations. And sales conversations come from leads. And leads comes from attention. So the number one currency, when you're running a business, the number one currency is getting attention, keeping that attention, and then monetizing the attention, and then continually monetizing the attention over and over again. Now, the big problem though, is that when we look at formal education, let me just talk about formal education, is that a lot of people are not trained in getting attention. But I'm seeing the youngsters, the youngsters who are watching this right now, they are doing it right. They are getting good at getting attention on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. They're very good at hooking people with angles and videos and so on. So that's a good thing. We're moving towards there. So that's one thing. The second thing though, is you need to be able to hold their attention long enough, and then you must create an offer. And this, I learned this from a couple of guys. Franken talks about this as well. He says that your income is directly proportional to the number of offers you make. The problem is a lot of people have a lot of skills. They have a lot of knowledge. But because they don't have anything to sell, they end up not making as much as they can.
Your income is proportional to the number of offers you have.
Have or make. Right? So, which gives us another framework. And this was taught to me by my dear friend Justin Devonshire. I went to Cyprus to learn from him. Great guy, Justin Devonshire. He's a gym marketer right now. And what Justin Devonshire said, he said Devonshire or Devonshire, that word, right? He said that every single day you only have to do 3 things if you're a business owner.
Tell me.
Number 1, get more leads. I don't care whether it's organic or paid. Get more leads. Number 2, right? What did he say? Close more sales. Right? Get leads, close sales. And number 3, sell those happy people more stuff. Because if you don't sell them more stuff, they're going to buy from your competitor anyway. People are always in a shopping mindset. They need more things. Because if you don't have it, just because you didn't package an offer up front, they're going to have to buy from your competitors. It's a waste, isn't it? So get more leads, close more sales, and then sell happy customers more stuff. That is what we call a cycle, right? It's not very hard. But most people don't think about it that way.
Very,
They
very
think that they have to become, in baking, for example, if I want to open up a baking business, I have to be the best baker.
Yeah.
I have to cook the best chicken curry.
Yeah.
I need to have the best barber.
Yes.
But hey, it's not the best surgeon who makes the most money. It's not the best dentist that makes the most money. It's not the best lawyer who necessarily makes the most money. It's the best marketing baker, best marketing dentist, best marketing surgeon. Does that?
Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. It's not the writer, right? It's not about. It's always the best-selling author, right?
Yeah,
the
it's not
best-selling.
you're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not the best
Written book.
It's a best-selling book. Author. It's not. Yeah, that makes sense.
So,
Totally.
you don't have an award for the best written book, right? You have an award for best-selling book.
Totally.
Right? And that's how you market the book,
Yeah.
right?
So I think further to that, Rash, if there are people who are just out of school right now and everything, I think they're on the right path.
Yeah.
They know how to capture attention.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Next thing that they have to do is to really come up with an offer.
Okay.
An offer doesn't mean discount or promotion.
Sure.
An offer in the online world, in the business world, simply means I will sell you X for Y dollars, and in exchange, you will receive A, B, and C from me. So for example, I will sell you, for example, a podcast marketing training. I will sell you a podcast marketing done for you service for $5,000, and in exchange, you're gonna get a short editing and distribution on their channels.
Wow.
So it's very clear. So if I'm a gym instructor, I will sell you a cholesterol triglyceride, make you feel a lot more better and less cholesterol, whatever, before, after. I will sell you 10 sessions of gym training plus look at your diets for $1,997. And you can expect WhatsApp coaching, check-ins, and regular meetups. So X for Y, ABC.
Exactly.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Absolutely.
Right? For those of you who are actually watching this podcast right now, take a piece of paper. I will sell X for how much? And they will get ABC. Okay. This is a thought process and exercise that most people don't actually think about. They overthink things.
Yes. You know, I want to share a story, a real quick one. Many years ago, 2014, I actually came to Imran and I booked an appointment, a consultation with you, right? And
this was at Fullerton, I remember.
Yes. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yes,
room.
it was his office there. So you know, I came to him and it was very interesting because I don't know if you remember this lah. So this is Imran's speciality, right? He's a surgeon. Surgeon means to say you come to him, you know, you have a business, he can look at it and can immediately tell you, hey, what you can tweak and what you can improve, right? So I came to him, you know, I had this investing kind of coaching going on, right? I came to him and say, hey, dude, you know, how can I get more, like, you know, how can I turn more people into, my followers into customers?
Right.
So he looked at my website, right, and he suggested a simple plugin, right? A simple plugin which was a appointment booking system.
Okay. In 2014, that was remarkable. Today, it's like everybody has it.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like everybody has. But back then, he said, hey, just install this one plugin. And I very simply just had this plugin with a very simple offer, which exactly what he said, right? Hey, if you want to get X, Y, Z, you know, 1 hour at a time, right? This is exactly what it is. Book your slot here, right? And that one simple thing, right, converted all these readers into my appointment schedules being completely booked out, completely booked out until I was like, Imran, I cannot take it, bro. Right? I couldn't take it because there was too many like appointments being scheduled, right, from my followers. Why? Because I offered that, you know, that 1 hour, which obviously converted into a sale eventually, right?
Yes.
So it was incredible, right? It's just one simple tweak. And
so
you know,
when it comes to surgery, for example, the problem is sometimes we are so inside. We are so working internally. We're working in the business and not on the business. You don't have a bird's eye view treatment of it. So you tend to have horse blinkers. When race horses, they have these blinkers on. They can only see what they see. And then when you have this conversation with another person who's seen it a lot of times before, they're like, hey, bro, why don't you just do that? Not hard, just do this, right? And so when it comes to a business, you know, surgery, we're talking about frictional points. There's many frictions that most businesses are actually facing, right? For those of you who have a business, for those of you who don't yet have a business, this is still pertinent, timely information. Just take a look at a few factors. There's a few pivot points over here. Number one, are you getting leads? Number two, if you're getting leads, are they replying to you? Number three, if they are replying to you, are you getting appointments? Or getting them on a webinar? Where number four, are you pitching them? Number five, are they buying? And number six, are they buying another thing? So if number one, you're not getting leads, it's a damn offer problem. lower your barrier to entry on the front.
Yep.
If number two, you're getting leads but they don't reply, change your WhatsApp scripts and call scripts. They're scared of you,
Yep.
right? Because at the end of the day, it's all about online. Another currency other than attention is trust.
Yep.
People are judging right away. Can I trust this person?
Absolutely.
I'm scared of this person. He's going to sell me. So when you're operating in a high trust environment, it's easy.
Yep.
Low trust environment, high cost per lead.
Yes.
What you call it, there's trust and then there's some other stuff as well, right? But my point is that that's number two. Number three, friction point is what? Friction point is they're replying, but they're not turning up on your appointments or webinars.
Yes.
Right? That's because you didn't have their buy-in.
Yes.
So you must put in some elements to make them excited, like a PDF with all the past success stories or whatever, and make them want to turn up on that webinar or that one-to-one.
Yes.
And then if they're not buying, then it's salesmanship skills.
Yes,
so it's another skill gap.
Yeah.
I know how to meet them, I don't know how to close them.
Sure.
I remember the first time I picked up a book by Dan Kennedy.
Sure.
Dan Kennedy taught me 80% of what I know about sales.
Okay.
I'm not talking about Jordan Belfort or whatever.
Wow.
I'm talking about Dan Kennedy, the principles of sales.
Yep.
And he taught me, right? He said that the one of the important things when it comes to selling is a transfer of excitement.
Transfer excitement.
If I'm excited,
Yes.
you will be excited.
For sure.
But I'm like, bro, if you have this, you're gonna be like that, flatline, right?
Yeah.
So it's a transfer of excitement. But other than that, you must also learn on how to communicate your value and make it seem as if you're getting more
Yep.
dollars worth of products and services
Yes,
in
yes.
exchange for the money that they paid it for.
Yes,
That's it. That's a very simple way.
A
right?
transfer of excitement.
Excitement. You've got to be excited.
Of course, for sure.
So when I'm talking about transfer of enthusiasm,
Yes.
I'm not asking you to be fake or you have to be extroverted when in fact you're introverted.
Yes.
But think about it, as a consumer, as a prospect,
Yeah.
if the person selling you is not even excited about what he's selling, why should I be excited? I'm more excited than you are.
For sure.
Right? So that's one of the lessons I have had as well. So these are skills that a lot of people don't want to learn. I work with a lot of property agents, right?
Yep.
A lot of people think that all they have, the lack is, oh, Imran, I just need more leads. I just need more leads. And then they wonder when they have 100 leads, they can't close. Oh, the leads are shit, is it? Can I say that?
Sure.
Right? The leads are bad quality. When I tell them that it takes a lot of things. It takes the ability to have a proper phone conversation.
Yes.
It takes the ability to present an idea in a manner that is persuasive and not pushy at the same time. It takes tonality.
Yes.
You know, these are skill sets that they have to learn.
Yes.
But you know what most people want to learn?
What's that?
I just want to learn on how to do calculations and learn how to upgrade from HDB to condo. They don't want to learn all the other stuff. And then they blame Facebook doesn't work anymore. Instagram doesn't work. Marketing is horrible and everything. Think about it. Am I wrong?
Yes, of course.
Right? There are skill gaps. There are soft skills and hard skills.
For sure.
If you want to be good at anything that we do, we obviously would always have to ask ourselves, what gaps do I have that my competitors currently don't have, and how can I get better at those skill gaps? So I have a moat, a safety buffer that allows me to be better than other people in my industry.
But there seems to be a lot of things,
Yeah.
right? Like you already mentioned 6-7 things, bro. A person listening to this will be like, wow, that's just too much work, brother. I'm so busy, crazy, right?
Let me tell you my insights on that.
Okay, sure.
I just did a video recently on Instagram about that. And what I said on the video was, I said, running a business is like playing a video game. You played Angry Birds before?
Sure, of course.
Right, sitting in the toilet playing Angry Birds. You got 2 stars. You replayed the bloody thing again to make it 3 stars.
Yes.
Why? Because it's fun.
Yeah.
When you treat business like a video game, of course, don't treat money like a video game.
Sure.
Right? Treat it with respect. But still, when you have a low-cost business, you're running it, there's AI now. And you're like, oh my God, let me try out some AI image generation stuff. Let's take a look. And you run it, and you're like, oh my God, this is getting a lower cost per lead than the other one that my designer is doing. Oh, it gives me a rush to know that it can work. And then you try some AI videos. Did you know that right now I'm running some AI videos of myself? You've seen it before. The cost per lead is cheaper than the real Imran.
Wow.
That means the people prefer the fake version of me. Right? So it was like, wow, that's such a rush. I tried to do some AI copywriting. Of course, human copywriting is still better. But I tried to come up with, ChatGPT, come up with some structure. It helps me a lot. I've been doing a lot of text to video and just treat it like a game. Every single day you learn something new, you implement something new, and you have a new insight. So 3 things. Every day, learn something new, implement something new, and you have learned insights. Now, behaviorally, the reason why most people stagnate is not because they are lazy, it's not because they're stupid, it's not because they're unworthy, no. It's just because they haven't gotten a habit. And what habit is that? Lifelong learning. This is not a shout out to Lifelong Learning Institute. Lifelong learning. What do I mean? They stagnate. Since they graduated, the only book that they have picked up was, I don't know, a love story or whatever. They have not picked up one stuff. My recommendation is at least go to TikTok. Okay? At least go to TikTok and watch some business-related motivational stuff, because you never know what nuggets of wisdom you can pick it up, and then it runs you down a rabbit hole, and suddenly you become an AI expert.
Yes, exactly.
Think about that, right? So be careful what type of information we consume on a daily basis, because you become what you consume.
It's crazy. No, Imran, I've known you for years and years and years. Being the guy who is voraciously reading stuff, right? Learning from mentors. You've learned from the OGs of marketing. You've learned from, you mentioned a couple of names already, Dan Kennedy, all these people. You've learned from all these people, invested so much money traveling all over the world to learn from these people, right? Maybe, could you just share with us maybe some of the best lessons you've learned from maybe one or two of them, right?
Yeah, so Dan Kennedy, I always talk about Dan Kennedy all the time. In fact, for the viewers right now, I always say this: if you don't have money to go for marketing courses or start a business course or whatever, go out and buy one Dan Kennedy book a month. He's got about 20 books. One book in kindergarten is $20.
Okay.
You buy 20 books over 20 months, that's 400 lousy bucks.
Okay.
Right? I'm not saying money is it's measly compared to a dinner night out with your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And you are going to have a complete marketing education in a box, right? So Dan Kennedy taught me a couple of stuff. One of the things that I learned from Dan Kennedy is inbound marketing beats outbound marketing. Think about it, Rash. If you are doing sales or you're doing some sort of marketing, is it easier to chase a prospect or make the prospect chase you?
Make the prospect chase me.
Should I knock on their door or should they knock on my door?
They should knock on my door.
Right? So that's inbound marketing. He calls it magnetic marketing. So you've got to find a way on how to attract people to your offers as opposed to you doing the free organic stuff all the time. People are like, let me door knock, let me wait for referrals, let me put up flyers, those are interruptive, highly irritating kind of stuff. Look, for example, I've been doing YouTube videos since, 2018, 2019. And at that time, I didn't know that I could regulate the amount of times that I could actually appear on the YouTube ads. And that was actually, in fact, it was inbound marketing, but there was also what we call outbound, interruptive, irritating marketing. Because before every video, you will see, hi, my name is Imran, and if you want to travel the world, click below, blah, blah, blah. So people were not necessarily irritated by the content, but by the fact that they couldn't skip it, they have to watch it for 5 minutes, 5 seconds or whatever, right? So you have to be very careful about running interactive marketing. So inbound beats outbound, number one. Number two, Dan Kennedy left me something very, very profound. And I teach this to my students all the time. And my coaches know this all the time. He says that men or women, he said men would rather move the mountains in real life than move the mountains in their head. So what do I mean by that? A man given a changkul, what you call it, a shovel, spit is for sand for your kid, right? So they would rather do that all day long or run a marathon or go to the gym and build big muscles and everything than to actually sit down and plan their lives or plan their marketing. Think about it, because it's far more painful to plan stuff
in your head
than it is to actually just go out there and run, make a sprint. Think about that, right? Because he said that if it's true that hardworking people make the most money, you know, laborers make the most money. It's not true. It's the people who work hard, move the mountains in their head rather than move the mountains in real life. Those are two profound lessons that I learned. So this is why I always want to go and upgrade myself when it comes to education, learning, lifelong learning. I never ever want to stop working, because working is a byproduct. It is a side effect of being able to implement what I learned.
Of course.
No point learning everything and then cannot implement.
Definitely.
It's like climbing a staircase. Learn, implement. Before you know it, you're like miles head and shoulders above all of your competitors and all of your friends who used to laugh at you in school.
Absolutely.
Think about that, right?
100%.
So if you only learn, cannot. You only implement also cannot. You're going to fall down. So 2 hands.
2 hands,
That was
Left hand
taught
to
to me
learn.
by Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy.
Brian Tracy is another guy that I like very, very much. I was.
You like the old school guys, bro?
Huh?
You like the old school fellas, huh?
Oh, those are the guys.
Wisdom.
I had the good luck of meeting him when I was giving a speech at the United Nations headquarters in New York in June 2019. 2018, I can't remember, right? So I was there, and I was late for the event. He was late for the event. So funny, right? He's not supposed to be late, but he was old, he was walking slow. We entered the lift at the same time. I was so shy, I wanted to ask for a selfie, but I didn't. And as we were going up, he was like, "You're a speaker today?" He asked me, "Yeah." wait, what are you talking about? I'll be talking about how to bridge income gaps using internet marketing or whatever. And he was like, oh, what's your name, by the way? Oh, my name is Imran. And I was so shy, I don't know my body language or anything. We went out, and what was remarkable was that during the event itself, he addressed me by name, and after the event, when we were talking at the cocktail party, he remembered my name.
Wow.
So I was like, wow, successful people care about other people. Wow. That was one of the things that blew my mind. I was like, oh, okay, I thought I can just help my customers to make money, then after that they'll be indebted to me for my whole life. That's it. No. He showed me that you actually have to care for people, which is a struggle sometimes because you know, degrees of separation. You've got your family to take care of. You have to think, I can't be sending gifts and durians to everybody. But it's a nice lesson nevertheless.
Successful people care about other people. Huh? Very nice, very nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Guys, if you've enjoyed the video so far, so many nuggets of wisdom that Imran has shared with so much excitement as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you all like the video. Make sure you all comment down below what are your favorite lessons, and make sure you all subscribe to the channel as well. In the second part of the interview, we're going to learn about Imran's struggles. Some of the parts where, you know, he lost relationships, he lost a bunch of money, all these downfalls in his journey of entrepreneurship as well. It's going to be really, really exciting. Let's get into the meat of things in part 2. Let's go. You know, so business is an exciting journey, right? So we talked about many different strategies. We talked about the mindset that's required and all these different things, right? So, but I want to ask you a question, bro. You know, there's definitely been times where businesses grow, they collapse, they don't do well. You know, where you lost a bunch of money, right? Where you lost trust of friends, right? Share with us some stories, man, where, you know.
Yeah, that's the reason why I don't really like doing businesses with partners.
Okay.
I mean, liking someone is one thing, but liking them as a business partner is another thing. I'm sure you've had your fair share.
Oh, for sure.
Right? A guy who plays football with you and laughs with you is not a guy who might be a business owner with you, but a guy who you don't like personally might be a very responsible person. So I've learned to distinguish between these two. I've had incidences where I've helped, tailoring company, right, do very, very well. I rented a space. I brought in, the leads. I ran advertisements. I did videos. Gave the sales scripts. Everything was done for them. At a certain period of time, of course, I was collecting my money every single month. After that, it became once in 3 months. It became once in 6 months. And then at the end of those 6 months, suddenly they said, oh, sorry, I don't have the money. I spent it all on something, right? And then they vacated the office. And not only did they not pay me all of those stuff, sometimes they also. I won't name names, but they took the laptop away. There was from the office and a MacBook as well. So it was crazy funny for me. So that's lesson number one. It's not to have partnerships in business, but you must be able to see things objectively. You don't always have to work with people that you like to work with, right? Be objective. There were other bumpy, segments in the business life as well. For example, when COVID first happened, when I was doing my seminars at first, I was like, oh guys, it's lesser than the flu. The newspaper says, why are you so scared? Bam, it went on full on and I was wrong, humble pie. Suddenly you couldn't just, do seminars as well. I was like, oh my God, how? Like that? Then how the revenue? Right? So I thought about it, okay, I'll go on Zoom. But go on Zoom, then how to present? They cannot see me, cannot chit chat, cannot eat brownie together during lunchtime, cannot bond, how to sell, how to close at the end. I was like, Daniel, just try lah. So this, just try lah, right? Nike, right? Just try lah.
Sure.
Okay, so I did that, and funnily, the first ever Zoom that I did, I did better in that one Zoom than I ever did in the entire month. One Zoom, wearing shorts, bloody living room at that time. I remember after that Zoom finished, I ran inside telling my wife, I said in Bahasa lah, sayang, wow, it works right? And she said, what works? It works. What works? Zoom works, I said. Right? Sorry, at the time I was using Webinar Jam. Webinar Jam. Crazy. So that taught me a lesson. But of course, one of my regrets also was that I didn't make hay while the sun was shining. While the sun is shining and it's still working, you got to squeeze as much as you can and do as much as you can. But I was afraid of wealth. A lot of people are afraid of wealth. Do you believe it? A lot of people are afraid of overwhelming success. What if I end up with so much money? Suddenly, they don't know the implications of that because they haven't been able to see it before. So I'm one of those guys. So my mistake was I was trying to slow down because we've always been imbued with these sayings in Malay. We said, sikit-sikit, lama-lama jadi bukit. It's better to have something small, at least it's blessed, than a lot that's not blessed. So they make us feel as if a lot of money is bad. It's immoral. Not religious. You get all of this, you don't give back or whatever. So those are some of the mindset things that we have to hold back.
Yeah,
but yeah,
yes.
in terms of trying to get back and everything, if I may just give one advice to people who are going through some bad patch times right now, is that whatever bad patch you're going through at the moment in time, it might seem magnified today. But when you zoom out and look at the timeline of your life, it is a small, tiny bump. Life is a series of tiny bumps. But when you're inside and you're there, you're like, oh my God, this sucks, you see? I don't know whether you agree. So my formula whenever I go through a bad patch is always this. Will I die? Will my wife and my kids still love me? These two things only one that matters, bro. Right? Even if I lose everything tomorrow, right? I have to super downgrade, or I have to move to Malaysia, Indonesia, whatever. Will I still be alive? Yeah. Can I make it up? Sure. Do I still have my wife? Will she still love me? She promises to. I don't know, but she promises to. My daughter has guaranteed, Daddy, I will still love you. We still can do fun stuff. So think about that. You still have that. So it's a minor speed bump. Zoom out, look at the timeline.
Wow. Dude, that's profound advice, bro. That's, really lah, bro. Again, when you zoom out and you think about these things, what truly matters, right? Dude, share with us a little bit about, so you, not recently lah, right? So you became a dad, right? And things did change tremendously for you, right? What are the values that are more important to you today?
Man, the first time my wife told me, good news. This was after Subuh in the morning, after we do our morning prayers. She told me, she come over to me, she hugged me and she smiled. I said, what the hell? Crazy, this woman. Then she told me that we're having a baby. Oh, scary time. I smiled at her, I pretended to be very happy. I was very happy, but I didn't know how to take it. It's like an alien just dropped into my lap. It's like, oh shit, I'm going to be a dad. My life's going to change. I have to wake up and... So it was very scary. Remember? Tiny bumps. I went to sleep, woke up, and it hit me. Oh, I got to work harder, man. The first kid, you got to work harder because you have been providing. And I have to prove to my wife that I cannot be a loser or whatever. So that was my... So I worked very, very hard. And then I had my second kid, Mila Fatima. The first was Andara Yasmin. They told me to be said on video. Hey, Dad, right? But my point is, I now exclusively only work from home. I'm proud to say I'm a work from home dad. So it's inbound. People come to me, I don't go to them, or Zoom. And the reason why I do this is because if you were to ask me, Imran, what's your proudest achievement? I don't have milestones or achievements that I can be proud of, except the fact that every single day I spend at least 4 to 5 hours a day with my kids. So I know that there's bond and richness, there's no space for regrets later on. I know that I can say I was there for them. I was part of the journey. I don't want to be one of those dads was that I was trying to chase something and then I neglected my kids. Too late for that, too late. After they're 18, you cannot go and get them back one. They don't bond means no bond really. Right? So that's my biggest achievement, I would say. Ability to spend time with my two girls. Every day they will be on my back or walk around Orchard and spend time every single day. I'm sure it's the same for you as well, Rash. You're a dad of a boy who's about 2 years plus. It's been a journey that's amazing for you as well. I've seen that it's given you a lot of fire recently. So, good stuff, right? Different people have different fire as well. Rash, when I was starting, my fire, my impetus was different from other people. It was not for money. It was because it was to prove people wrong. Friends were laughing at me, published my own book. They're like, self-published. I appeared in my first newspaper. My dad, he didn't understand. He asked me, how much you paid to be in the newspaper? Actually, it's Berita Hairan, it's editorial, it's not paid. So it was just to prove parents wrong, prove friends wrong and everything. So that's your initial fire. The danger is after you've proven people wrong, then what? You see, if you don't have another goal or whatever, then you can just kind of fizzle out. So you've got to understand how to do it.
Interesting, bro. So true, so true. And that's, I think, the most beautiful thing I've heard, bro. Right? Really. Because in the end of the day, what really truly matters, right? And today, his proudest achievement is being a stay-at-home dad, a work-from-home dad, right? Who's able to make a very, very sizable income by being at home, right? And being able to spend 4 or 5 hours with your kids. And I think that's something that we all truly want, right? What's the point of, struggling and working so hard only to lose time with your loved ones?
Think about it. We work very hard for
family.
For family.
Yes, absolutely.
But then you work very hard, but then you neglect the family. Then no point lah. They lose the sight. They lose the sight of things,
Yeah, so true, man. So true. Hey, and thanks for that reminder as well. Right. And Imran, I want to ask you a question. Right. So today, today you work with many real estate agents,
Yeah.
insurance people,
Yeah.
right? So salespeople essentially to get leads.
Yeah, leads are not just leads, because I think leads are abundant. Anyone
Yes,
can run leads.
absolutely.
More importantly is the sales choreography.
Okay.
Like when you're dancing, there's choreography.
Okay.
Right? There is a cadence, there's a rhythm, there is a sequence
Yes.
to turning those leads to become WhatsApp, to become calls, and so
Very, very
on.
nice. So again, for people who are, I've seen his work, and I'm telling you all, it is very different. Right, it's very, very different. The results that is produced for the people who work with him is incredible, right? It's very, very different. And I've seen some of them, and I'm like, wow, there's so much to learn, right? So can you share with them your process in which how you actually can help
Sure.
people get better leads and everything?
Right. I always tell people this, whether or not we end up working together,
Yeah.
there's still a framework that I work on. I'm
Sure.
a big believer in frameworks.
Yeah.
So we have to work off something, a
Yes.
base. Which is when you run advertisements, you're basically communicating. Think about it.
Yeah.
It's just communicating.
Sure.
It's just about becoming an effective communicator.
Yeah.
Coming out with something, communicating in a way that people can understand, persuade them. Right? Think about it. Now, in university or in high school, they don't teach us on how to persuade. Right? So I'm going to give you the framework right now, if you guys are ready.
Let's go.
Okay? And the framework is very simple. Number one, when we run advertisements, we are simply catering to 3 levels of conversations.
Okay.
The first level of conversation is the conversation that people already have in their own heads right now. So for example, I can really afford a condo, meh? Can I really upgrade? Wow, the interest rate is very high right now. Should I really buy a condo, or is the market prices peaking? This is the conversation already in their head. And this is the most dangerous conversation because they never come and talk to you about it. It is an undiscovered conversation as an objection. This is also a conversation, I call it late night conversation, that husbands and wives are having at night before they sleep. Sayang, I want to upgrade lah. Can meh? Don't know can afford or not. Later see how lah. Right? But that stays within the confines of their head or in the bedroom.
Yeah.
As a property agent, you can't knock on the door and say, hey, can I partake in your conversation? Now, it becomes a problem because unless you can engage them, you cannot then turn them into an appointment. So number one, if you want to write this down, is you want to be able to run ads to tickle that conversation already in their head or in the bedroom, number one. Step number two is then to take that conversation in the head over to a virtual conversation via WhatsApp, phone call, or whatever. Right? And then number three is to take that virtual conversation via WhatsApp over to a Zoom appointment or face-to-face appointment to a face-to-face conversation. A lot of people don't know how to engineer this. I always have a saying in Malay, it's called sikit-sikit lama-lama jadi bukit, which simply means small-small after a long time become big lah. Right? So this is what we call micro commitments. Okay? So my process is very simple. We always ask, what is it that we want the prospect to be able to do? Oh, I want them to buy a house from me, for example. Well, in order for them to buy a house, you need to meet them. Great. In order for them to meet you, you need to have a conversation via WhatsApp first to set the appointment. Great. In order to have a conversation with them, they need to become your lead first. Great. In order for them to become a lead, you need an advertisement. So you break down that process into chunks. This is one of the biggest secrets I have found, Resh. Piece of paper and pen. And Brian Tracy said this. His best weapon, one of the best weapons, was a paper and pen. Right? Whenever you have a problem or you need a solution, take a paper and pen and write down the entire thing. Because what you leave, going around in your head, you will forget. But what you put on paper and pen, the brain is forced to kind of look at it as well. So that's the 3-step process that I tell people. Marketing, lead generation, conversation. Conversation in the head, bring over to virtual, bring over to face-to-face or webinar or wherever you make your pitch or offer.
What kind of results has this produced? Like difference for people?
Man, it's crazy right now. If I may just go over to one of my, just very quickly. Where is it? Okay, right. I'm just going to use property as an example, right? Because that's one of the things I've been doing. This is one of my clients. They may not be able to see. I can edit it later on. There's 12 property meetups in a month, 12 appointment meetups in a month for a property agent. Most agents don't even have 1 or 2. Warm referrals. This is 12 cold property meetups in a month, right? This is another one, JJ Wong. 6 recruitments in under 2 weeks. 6
crazy.
recruitments for a property agent in under 2 weeks. 7 property appointments in 8 days, Jonathan. Right? $1.96 per property inquiry. Right?
That's very cheap.
$1.96. So, a lot of people don't understand this. One more, Mohammed Noor. In less than 12 days, he had a 5-room HDB listing, upgrade to condo, and 2 more private condos. 12 days.
Crazy.
Right? And the reason why they're able to do this is because we don't just teach them on how to generate leads. any guy graduating from university, and I'm taking a dig at some of the younger agencies, any guy with knowledge about how to do TikTok videos and everything, they can run marketing agencies and lead gen. But because they haven't run a real business, they don't know or understand or comprehend the ability to turn those leads into appointments and how to turn the appointments into sales. That is where the marketing process is broken, my friend. Sales choreography, right?
Interesting. And that's exactly
what I answered the question, or did I go on a bit?
You did.
Okay.
It's this entire framework and process, bro, right?
Yes.
How do people contact you or, be able to engage your services with regards to this, bro?
Well, the easiest way to do it, if you were just to drop me a WhatsApp. WhatsApp is my medium of choice. My number's not as good as my wife's number, but it's still okay. 8181-8929. Right? That's 8181-8929. Drop me a WhatsApp, say hi, whatever. Don't worry, I'm not going to sell you yet, but I'm just going to help out because I believe in conversations. If you help enough people, some are going to buy, some are not going to buy.
Absolutely.
We always joke about this. In Islam, there's this thing called pahala. Pahala means like brownie points to go to heaven, in a way, right? Just to put it crudely, right? There's like good points and demerit points. There's no English word for it, right? I call it brownie points. So whenever you help people for free, right, you are training yourself in communicating, finding out ideas. You're actually helping yourself by helping people for free if they can't afford you or they don't want to buy. So that is below the line. You get what we call brownie dollars, good feel dollars. But if they buy from you, then they elevate above the line, then you get both Singapore dollar brownie points and brownie points as well. Either way, you cannot lose. And the people who you help for free, they can become your case studies or testimonials in future, or they can recommend people to you, or build a tribe together. You never ever lose by helping people. So conversations is where it's at. I'm huge on this thing called conversational marketing. I don't want lead gen. I don't want ready to close leads or hot leads. No, I want conversational marketing.
Interesting. Conversational marketing. To be in conversation with the
Everything
people.
is conversational.
Wow.
In the head, WhatsApp, meetup.
Incredible, bro. Beautiful. So many nuggets of wisdom I'm getting again and again from you, bro.
Super
Beautiful.
duper.
So again, guys, if you are curious about working with Imran, you want to be able to pick his brains, right? Do get on a WhatsApp with him and be able to schedule an appointment, right? Again, I promise you this one thing, you sit down with him, he will blow your minds, right? Like, whatever industry you might be in, for example, if you're looking for a way in which you can, increase your income, grow your business, dude, this guy will give you some crazy ideas, man.
I can help the best in what we call service-based businesses, where you're selling a service. If you're selling a table or a chair, probably not the best guy for that. But if you're selling a class or baking class, you're selling a maid agency service, or selling a tour and travels, or property agent, or insurance, service-based businesses is where I'm at because I like to position myself as an appointments expert. I know how to generate appointments for people, very, very simply.
Wow, beautiful. So many. Make sure you go and get it, guys. Service business, make sure you go contact him. Absolutely amazing, right? I can vouch for him 100%. And this interview yourself, his quality, right? So, guys, Imran, one final thing to actually ask you, right? So, a lot of people have a lot of different things about getting into business, right? Wow, stressful. Will I lose a lot of money, right? Will I be able to feed my family? There's a lot of inherent fears in them, right? And a lot of these fears are the things that actually stop them, right? And they might know it, right? I have all these fears, but how do I get rid of these fears? How do I break past this wall that is stopping me?
Are you talking about fears, the inherent fear of taking action?
Fears of taking action and going into business.
Okay. Very simple. I always tell people I believe in micro businesses first. Micro business is defined by a business that you can start off with $1,000 or $2,000 of less, which means no rental of offices, which means no hiring of freelancers at the moment in time, nothing. It's just based on a skill or brokering someone else's knowledge at the moment in time. So the reason why it has to be low capital is because lower capital, lower fear. You can be more adventurous. I've met a lot of people who spend a lot of dollars renting offices, making it nice, only to be living in a climate of fear every day. Go home, wife is going to question them. Do you think they'll be able to succeed? No, there's too much pressure on them. So go for low-cost businesses and treat it like a game. Have fun, try. The worst that you get is a failure of $2,000. You know what? When you are working for someone, you're salaried or you do a business, the money will come in every month anyway. You're going to finish that money anyway. I would rather finish it on trying out something rather than, spend on the stuff that is not necessary. Now, having said that, Resh, as well, because one of the questions that I got from the pre-briefing sheet, I saw who are the people who influenced me and helped me along in life. And I thought, I actually have a list over here. If I could just do a very quick shout out of the people. I haven't had the chance to be grateful and thankful to them. One of them has gone back to Canada. And these are the people that I definitely recommend. The first is, of course, Dave Rogers. I don't know whether you remember Dave. Dave Rogers is a legend to me. He's the guy who helped me to get into Mind Valley stages.
Yes.
He's opened up so many doors for me. So Dave, if you're watching this right now, I want to say thank you to you, brother.
Yes.
You've been to Canada. I hope to see you in Singapore again. I could have done more for you, with you, but probably not. Second is Justin Devonshire. Yeah. He's a really good guy. He's very good concept and everything. Yes. Leads, more appointments, more sales. Sure. Amazing. David Lee as well. David Lee from APTSG, Association of Professional Trainers Singapore. He was actually in this building, I think, right? And David Lee was instrumental in giving me a seat on the APTSG committee, and he also helped me to become Singapore Polytechnic, one of the entrepreneurship committee members as well. So thank you, David Lee, for that. And of course, last but not least, is my very dear friend and partner as well, Abdul Hadi. I remember Abdul Hadi. Abdul Hadi gave me one of my first big breaks when he was the president of entrepreneurship at SMU. He was the one who allowed me to use the big space at SMU as well, giving speeches and everything. I was there, bro. Yeah, you were there?
Yes,
super duper. Yeah, so Hadi was the guy who helped me to kickstart some of these seminars and everything. And of course, Mr. X, a guy that I wouldn't name as well. He's the guy who helped me with platform speaking, how to close sales and everything. For privacy purposes, I would just call him Mr. X.
Sure. Incredible. That became a thank you speech to all the people, helped Imran as well. Yeah. But again, guys, like what Imran said, his success is built on learning and journeying with all these giants, right? It's upon these shoulders giants that we stand, that we get to different places as well. So incredible, bro. Imran, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I really, truly appreciate you. Again, just once more, or how can they reach out to you if they want help with their appointments and stuff?
One of the easiest way to reach out to me personally, I'm just going to put out my personal WhatsApp number over here. That would be 8181-8929.
Very, very nice, fantastic. So make sure you guys reach out to him again if you're a service-based business. If you're looking for help to expand and grow, make sure you all pick the brains of Imran. I'm telling you, it will be a decision you will never regret. Right? So that's number one. And number two, guys, most importantly, right, make sure you guys like this video. Comment down below what's the biggest learning lessons you all actually got. Make sure you all subscribe to the channel as well. And make sure you click on the notification bell to get more video updates from our podcast, the Modern Wealth Podcast. See you all next time on our next episode. Bye, guys.